Welcome back to We Care a Lot. I'm half the podcast, Mel, and the other half isn't here. If you guys haven't listened to Wednesday's episode, then you don't know, but Sam and I are doing solo episodes since we had a little bit of an issue. Wouldn't say technical, on our part anyway. New concept, it's not our fault. But yeah, so we decided to do our own separate episodes because it was just easier to schedule for this week. And usually we do what is it called? We do usually batch our content, or we'll shoot a few episodes in advance, so that way we feel equipped just in case something happens, because you know us, things happen. But yeah, that didn't happen, so now we're here. Okay, a few little forewarnings. If you hear my dog walking around, she needs a little nail trim, I know. Okay, but that'll be one thing, and then I'm sorry for any other inconveniences in terms of the noise or whatever. Anyway, moving on, this is so weird. I am filming in my living room, which you've seen from a different angle. But anyway, this is the rest of it. Hi. Sam filmed in her room, and I thought that was so cute and cozy. And I feel like lately, this is my cozy spot. Just because, listen, when I lived in a one bedroom, and the TV wasn't in my room, it was in my room, that's kind of where I spent all of my time. But now that we have a living room with a TV in the living room, crazy concept, I know. We spend a lot of time here. So this is my sanctuary at this time. Yeah, so welcome. Anyway, so there was a few things that Sam went over. And I don't know that I'm going to be talking about the same things, but in terms of just giving you a life update, life's a little hectic. What are you eating, Harley? What have you been eating? Hi, this is Harley, everyone. You've probably heard her in other episodes. Life's been a little hectic lately, I have to say, as it always is. But, I don't know. I think with kind of full throttling getting out of GGC and all of that, I feel like Sam and I are both on different pages in terms of what we're doing, and so it's hard to schedule a lot of different things going on, and life just fucking happens, to be honest. And so that's also another piece of it all. But anyway, in terms of me, what have I been going through? What's been going on? I've been picking up a lot of jobs lately because that I need that coin. And it's hard having multiple jobs all at once. Before I could manage different clients, but having completely different types of roles is so weird, to be honest. Drink every time I say to be honest, because apparently that's what I like to say right now. I feel like I caught myself 4 times. Anyway, but I'm having a really difficult time kind of just really navigating what I want to do next in my life. And right now I'm kind of really taking on different tasks, and not that they aren't fulfilling or interesting. It's just more so I don't really know where I want to end up. I feel like that's the constant thing with me is I'm constantly thinking that there's something more I could be doing, and not in a productivity way, even though that's also true. I definitely just feel like I could be doing something different with my time. I feel like this whole concept of life purpose is just so obscure to me, and I don't know that I will ever figure it out, to be honest. I feel like I'm constantly in this weird process of trying to figure that piece out. But lately I'm kind of just maybe you will never figure it out, and that's in itself okay. Maybe my purpose is to just continuously explore what purpose means, or I'm starting to think that maybe my purpose is just more so on a phase to phase basis. Anyone else? Because I feel like that's just kind of how it's been more so working for me and feeling more fulfilling, where I it really is just about being present, to be honest. It's like being present in your, can you hear those birds? There's so many parakeets or parrots in my neighborhood. Anyway, I feel like, yeah, on a like phase to phase basis, I'm starting to feel like that's where it's feeling more fulfilling, where like I'm present with what I'm doing at the moment and feeling okay, that's like what I'm supposed to do right now. And, you know, I don't know, I'm starting to try to zoom out more and like think about the fact that when I'm 30 or 40, I'm probably not gonna like the fact that I've like figured it all out. Not that I will ever have it fully figured out, but like even having it slightly more figured out, I think I constantly miss like the chaos of what teenage life was like, of like the unknowingness of it all. And right now I so desperately want to know, and I'm like, why, girl? Why? I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but anyway, with that, like brings up, well, that concept kind of came up for me because like I don't know if anyone else listens to Call Her Daddy. You know, I didn't listen to her during her co-host phase, let's just say. But lately I really enjoy her episodes, and she kind of had an episode talking about like the 20s suck. And I've always been like a person to say that I feel like that's genuinely true, is that like everyone is like hyping up the 20s. And sure, maybe when we like are 40 or 50, we're going to miss being this age and this young. But I think it's just like overhyped. I feel like being 20 kind of sucks. You're constantly trying to figure it out and feeling like an imposter along the way of it. And so like that just creates like this very weird dynamic within yourself. Unless you have it all figured out, then, you know, by all means, I'm so happy for you. And I'm not even gonna say I wish I was you, because I'm meant to be where I am right now, but like, good for you. That's really great. And I'm actually genuinely happy for you, because I wouldn't put this fucking confusion on my worst enemy. Like it's so I don't know, existential is the word. I don't fucking know. But anyway, needless to say, I feel chaotic. What's new? Another thing that kind of has really come up for me recently is, although I'm having what sounds like a lot of negative feelings and thoughts, I think that understanding and being present with that understanding has really created this like reflection point for myself, where I'm kind of just in acceptance mode of rejection, and more so even like seeking this part I haven't fully like encompassed, but I want to be able to seek rejection. Sounds ridiculous, I fucking know. But what I mean by that is I want to not feel so scared to be rejected all the time, to the point that like maybe the only cure for that is to go and find places to be rejected. Whether that means like applying for the fucking job that you know you're probably not going to get. And I'm not saying like do it purposely to just be rejected, but like put yourself in places where you're scared to be rejected, you know? Because the worst thing that happens is they say no and you get rejected. And then I feel like that'll just build up this tolerance of realizing that it's not so bad. And then the other part of me, playing devil's advocate here, thinks like, well, then maybe that'll get really tiring and you'll just feel like beaten down, you know? But maybe at some point after the beaten down phase, it starts to feel good. It starts to feel like I got this. I don't know. But I'm in that mode right now where I'm just kind of like accepting rejection and taking it for what it is and just being like, okay, well, they said no. What's next? What else can I go do and try to have them say yes, you know? That's kind of like the phase that I'm in at the moment. But yeah, I don't know, girl. I don't know. I just kind of feel like lately it's my time to stop giving so much fucking energy to shit. And whether it's good or bad, like I want to be in my I don't give a fuck phase right now. like I just have nothing else to give. I'm going to keep giving, don't get me wrong, but I have nothing else to give. So like, why be mad about it? Why be upset? You know what I mean? But that comes from like this feeling, which I've kind of already touched on, but just feeling like I'm never going to have this time back. And like that in itself is so scary and profound and beautiful. And I feel like it's such a simple concept, but when you're in the moment of it all, when you're struggling like and wanting it all to end, at some point you need to remember that like, or you will remember that feeling you once so deeply felt can't ever be felt that way again. So I feel like I'm not making any sense. But what I'm saying is like thinking about all of the firsts that you did in your 20s or even in your teens, like I think it makes more sense currently to depict it as your teenage self. But all of the first things, you know, the first time you drove a car, the first time you got in an accident, the first time you got your heart broken. Like I think back to this like deeply profound feeling that I felt when I had such a deep crush. I don't even want to say I was in love because I was not necessarily love, but I had this very deep crush on this person. And like, it was probably so dramatic, but like, you know, we gave each other like mixtapes and like wrote each other love letters. And then, you know, I don't think we even ever, we never kissed, but like we held each other so hard and like long in like the rain, which sounds so dramatic, but I remember like the smell of my chapstick and like the feeling of the cold, wet, like rain and like the way that it smelled outside. And I feel like those like small moments in life, I will never get back. And I try to remind myself when I'm like 20 that I'm having those moments and like that those things I will never get back again. So like, I'm just trying my best to be super present, I guess. And you know, everyone fucking gives you this advice, but genuinely, like, how do I fucking be more present? How? I mean, I know, meditate, you know, genuinely change your mindset, but it's a lot harder than we all fucking make it out to be, you know, because like life sets in too, and like the busyness of it all. And I don't know. Also, to a different point, I saw this one video of this woman who like went back to Mexico, who basically had lived her entire life here in the States and like worked for like 50 years. And she finally moved back and was kind of like, you know, something about America is like, it's just such a weird place. Like life doesn't really stop there. You know, you go to work, you come home, you eat your dinner with your family, you go to sleep, and then you do the same thing over and over again until like, you know, you get a couple weekends off or whatever it is. You go to a small trip, but then you forget all about it because then you're just back in this rat race. And she was talking about how when she moved back to her country, back to Mexico, that like, it's almost as if life started again and she was able to do the things that she wanted, which was to just like go and see her friend in the middle of the week and it's, you know, this might be such a simple thing for us who are a little bit more privileged, I guess, and to not have to like genuinely have that kind of strict schedule. But I feel that regardless if I do get to see my friends, because I feel like I am not taking in those moments, not to say that she didn't, but as a person who like is seeing this reflection of life from this other person, I feel like I took my own point of that, of being like, I'm not taking in enough of what's going on around me. And so, yeah. Anyway, I'm just, I guess, deeply like moved by the fact that I'm not going to be getting these years back. And like, yes, Melissa, we all know like life moves on, but like, have you ever sat to like really think about it? You know what I mean? Like, I get sad that I can never be a teenager again. Not in like I want to go back, but it's like this version of life is going to continue to go forward, and there's no moment to actually look back at these first times. Like, I can never go back to my first apartment, you know, and and feel the same things again. I'm currently in my first house. So it's like, I also need to be present with that moment and realize that like the way that I feel about my first apartment is the way that I'm going to feel about my first house. And it's just like that reflection point, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel like I'm very much in that place right now of like struggling to be present and wanting to make a change in my life, because I don't think I'm not almost 30, but like I have a few years left of being in my 20s. And I don't want to continuously feel like I'm not appreciative of the time that I have with this like decade, that I'm never going to get back. I'm very excited about being in my 30s, and I always have, because I always felt like 20s was like, but I just want to stop being so like negative, I guess. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but if you do, I'm with you there. It's tough, but we're doing our fucking best. We are doing our best. So on a lighter note, Sam did like some little like obsessions things that she's been having, and I kind of want to get into that. I'm trying to think of like the things that I've been like loving lately, and I've been rewatching The Office, which like I have seen twice, I think, like through and through. But it's so different watching it with somebody who's like never seen it before, like in the way that it's like from start to finish. And so it's such a, like, obviously that show would not fly in a lot of like it being like, showcased now as like a premiering series, but it's such a good fucking show. Like it's a good one, it's one that you can go back to. Similarly, I'm still on the L Word. I know I've been saying that for so long, but yeah, I'm still there, girls. Obsessed with it, and that's why I don't want it to end. I have 3 episodes left, and I'm really sad about it. Has anyone seen Generation Q? Because if you have, can you let me know what it's like? I feel like I've been hearing like terrible things about it, and I think that's even more so why I don't want to move on. You know what I mean? But anyway, there's like this weird concept, not weird, wrong word, but there's this concept about, what was it called? Is it called comp hetero? I don't know. I forgot what like the term is, but basically like, I feel like a lot of women, gay women, queer women have been discovering that, they're heterosexual, what's the word? They're heterosexual, not tendencies, but like if a person is pansexual or bisexual, their attraction for men, their attraction for the heterosexual relationships come from the male gaze, and just also the purpose of, I don't know, like what social capital that has, and it's a concept that I've been really thinking about. Don't get me wrong. I definitely know like my attraction for men is real, but I do think that like I've never felt so deeply emotionally connected as I do with Logan. And so it's just interesting to like think back on all the relationships that I had with men, and to what degree was it like not necessarily real, because I don't want to like invalidate that, but like it's something to reflect on, because I feel like there was this example where this woman was talking about how it was put into perspective for her when she asked herself, like, when she was in a relationship with a man, or every time she would start a relationship with a man, she would begin that relationship by saying like, just so you know, like I'm bisexual. I require to be with women at some point in our relationship, and I just want that to be known. And when she flipped it and was like, when she's with a woman, she's like, I don't need that in return though. Like, I don't need a man to interject that in my relationship. Like, I don't need to be with a man while being with a woman. So like, what's the vibe there? And I feel like that's so real. And I think it's just because of like the emotional connection and the emotional capital that has for ourselves. Like, I don't know. Can any other queer women relate? Because I feel like it's something that I've been reflecting on a lot too. And like, I wouldn't change necessarily like what I label myself as. But it's just an interesting thing. I think definitely like I feel a lot more emotionally like deeply connected to women. I don't know. Interesting food for thought. But that's something I've been obsessed with. Another thing has been just Miss Trisha Paytas. I feel like she's back in the game of she's in her unproblematic phase at the moment. Not to say she's going to change, and it's just refreshing to like have people love her, because I feel like, you know, in those days when she was saying a lot of crazy things, like it's clear, it's just, I love the character development. I'm always there for a character development moment. And I just have been loving watching her expand, you know, her own talents and like her own audiences. It's just been fucking cool. So that's something I've been loving too. Sam and I have been doing the 75 hard in terms of like fashion. I don't know what the fuck it's called. And I forgot. I think we explained it in an episode. If you want to go back, I think it was like the New Year's episode. But yeah, I can relate to her. I haven't been taking photos either. And it's mostly because I'm just like in loungewear and not like, and that's a big thing that I've been discovering through this process is like, I'm in desperate need of some like good loungewear. And I'm talking about like loungewear that can be like inside, outside the house, but I'm very comfortable. Because at the moment, whenever I want to lounge and like not care about what the fuck I'm wearing, I'll just put on like sweatpants and like a hoodie, which fine, that's cute, I guess. But none of them match. It's not like an actual set or anything. And I don't want to always wear that to like lounge in and go out in public and get groceries. You know what I mean? So like, and then my other version of that is like jeans and a t-shirt and a jacket. And I'm like, that's not even comfortable, girl. Like you don't really got something going there, you know? So anyway, I've been discovering a lot about just my fashion choices, and I haven't bought anything in the last probably like 6 months in terms of like clothing. But while doing this challenge, I don't know if it's because I'm becoming really aware of what I have and what I don't have that like I need, that I've been like itching to go shopping. Itching. Like I can't even describe to you how badly I want to buy some of these things that I need. And I just can't. And like, it's just going to be like an interesting time, because I feel like by the time when we are able to shop, it's going to be like Coachella time. And my head's going to be like in a different space. So like, I don't really know what that's going to be like, to be honest. You know what I mean? Anyway, Coachella lineup came out. But Sam and I haven't discussed it on the podcast yet. What are your guys' thoughts about the lineup? I feel like I'm really sad. I feel like this has been one of the worst lineups. And let me just begin by saying it's not because I don't love the headliners or that like, I mean, I don't know a lot of the smaller artists, and that's my own problem. You know, fuck off, Melissa, right? Like if you don't know these cool people, then that's on you. But like genuinely, I don't know a lot of these people, and maybe that's a me problem. But also I just feel like in the past, Coachella has just really been has really been that festival that was like in the know of what people wanted to see, I guess. I don't know. And I just feel like it's just not there anymore. And I'm sorry for saying that, but I don't know. I'm still excited just to like be there for the vibes and experience new music, but it's just something that I'm just like, oh, could have been better. But don't get me wrong, I will fucking be there and I'll see you in the desert. But yeah, I don't know, man. I have nothing much else to say. This was kind of interesting though, and I feel like maybe Sam and I should do this more often, because I don't, you know, it's sprucing up these skills, these podcasting skills. But anyway, if you haven't watched Sam's episode or tuned into Sam's episode, please go ahead and do that. She posted it on Wednesday, so it should be up obviously already. But, you know, leave us some cute little reviews on our podcast. Rate our podcast, please. It'd be so helpful. And I'm sorry we didn't give you a glowing hour this week, but I guess technically I'm the glowing hour. But anyway, we'll catch you guys next week.